What's up, guys? Got the new Kanger Subtank. Little gift from my boss at Carolina Vapor Mill, Charlie Brown. I have used both the standard atomizer that comes with it. That's going to be this guy here. And the rebuildable atomizer, which is what I have on here now. I don't see a lot of difference in this between this and the Atlantis. There obviously are some cosmetic differences. It holds more juice. This is the Subtank, and the Atlantis is a little shorter, obviously, and a little not as big around. So this one holds more juice. I've heard 6 or 7 mils, something like that. I haven't really measured it, but it does hold more juice, so that's a plus. This one seems to have a little more sturdiness behind the glass tank. You've got those the metal ridges on the inside that this tank kind of rides on, along with those 2 O-rings. So it may be a little more durable as far as the glass is concerned. But as far as flavor goes, as far as vapor production goes, with the standard coil head that it comes with, not a whole lot of difference. I get about the same vapor production out of them. I guess I can turn the Subtank up a little higher, it seems like, before I get a dry hit, maybe around 5.5 volts, and it runs pretty well with it wide open. But the airflow seems very similar. The taste, I'm using the same juice in both. That seems very similar. I have not run a coil out yet until it dies, or until it's unusable anymore. So that'll be the big question in my mind. But let's talk about the rebuildable atomizer that I've got in here now. If you've ever built a K-Fun, it's very, very similar to the inside of a K-Fun. The major difference being the airflow through the center is a little different. It's a little bigger airflow. It's still tight, though. Now, I did use the build that comes on the RDA portion of it. I did use that, which is a double barrel coil, similar to these coils here. It looks like about 26, maybe 28, probably 26 gauge wire. I used some just regular cotton bacon, but it's a double barrel coil sitting on top of the airflow. So if you're familiar with that, then you'll know what that looks like. I did load it up pretty good with cotton. I was concerned about it leaking. I have not had a leak yet, even with probably more cotton than I really need in there. But the airflow on it is greatly reduced with the rebuildable atomizer. So the bottom of the coil, if you look at this, the bottom of the standard coil has very, very, very wide open airflow. It's very open, but the bottom of the RDA coil is slightly smaller. The holes are about 1.5 mils. There's 4 of them. So the RDA portion is going to be a tighter airflow draw. Just keep that in mind. Now, you may be able to fix that. In fact, you may be able to drill those holes out. I don't think it's going to hurt anything really. And there may be some other stuff that I try later on to try and make that a little better. But here, I'll give you a pretty good vapor production just off those the stock rebuildable coils that come in there. And it's a very hot vape too. I don't know what those are ohming out to. I haven't put it on an ohm reader, but I'm guessing around 0.5. That's kind of what it feels like, but it's a very hot vape that you get out of that. So I'm going to switch back to the standard coil that comes in it, and we'll talk about that a little bit. While I am switching out atomizers, I figured I'd show you the rebuildable head, show you a little bit about it and the differences between it. This is going to be on the left your regular Känger head that comes with it, the organic cotton head. This is going to be the rebuildable head on this side. So you see the airflow difference. It's a little tighter. You still got 4 holes, but they are tighter holes. So that's a normal coil. That's the rebuildable coil. Reduced airflow. Now, some of that could be a product of the coil build. Having that double barrel coil in there, it's going to block off your airflow a little bit. So I may play with that and see what I can do about it. Because 26 gauge wire with 2 coils, you know, I could probably get the same thing out of 24 gauge wire in 1 coil. Who knows? We'll see. I'll show you the inside of this rebuildable atomizer as well, and just kind of the way I wick this, which worked pretty damn good, I gotta say. So that's going to be the build. See if you can see that there. Double barrel coil sitting on top of the airflow, and just cotton, you know, very similar to the K-Fun, tucked in up against the positive and negative post, and then screw your top down like so. That's the rebuildable atomizer. Keep in mind also, when you put on the rebuildable atomizer, you have got to change the top cap to the tank. So you either have to dump your juice or remove it, syringe it out, something like that. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll come right back. I figured I'd show you this too. I'm just putting this back together now, putting the standard coil back on. I have changed out the top cap for the stock coil top cap. Again, that threads off with screws. It's held on with screws. I don't know why they don't just make that threaded right there. It could very easily be threaded. Just my opinion. But you have to take it off with screws. So I'm just going to fill this up. Again, holds a lot of liquid. So I don't bother with the syringe. Just dump it in there, man. And throw this back on. Don't have to worry about when you fill up to the top of that chimney cap, you are filling it up past where the coil sits. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you're filling it up pretty good. So it looks like when you fill it up that there's a gap there, but as with most Känger products, when you flip it over, you got a full tank because the coil takes up space in the tank. Makes sense? It does make sense. Thank you, Turtle. You're welcome, Turtle. I talk to myself a lot. Let's screw this back on. I have left this at the same voltage that I had it on before, which is right around 5 volts. On a mech chump, it's turned all the way up and then turned back about a corner turn. Not on a mech chump, on a regular chump, excuse me. It's turned all the way up and then backed off about a quarter of a turn. You can just hear how much more air is coming through that. It's a lot airier, very reminiscent or comparable to the Atlantis as far as airflow is concerned. The stock coil, to me, is much better if you use the build that comes on these, that comes with it. I have not rebuilt this yet. I have not done anything to it. All I did was take it out of the box, throw some cotton in the coils, and wick it, and go to town. So the build that comes on it, I'm not crazy about, but again, those air holes are pretty small, so I don't really see that being as airy as the stock coil. Taking long hits, no dry hits. It's wicking phenomenally. This is Clouds of Goodness, Happiness, which is very thick juice. I'm not sure the ratio on it. I want to say between 70-30 and 90-10, something like that. It's very thick. Wicking, fantastic. I primed it very similar to the way that I prime Atlantis coils. Just put a little juice down in the center hole and then a little juice on those external juice holes before I filled the tank up. So with these sub-ohm coils, you know, I'm always really worried about them running dry on first fire. So I always, you know, kind of soak that coil in really good. Draw for days on it. No dry hits, none of that. It's the wick's keeping up very well in this as well. So overall, I'm extremely happy about this tank. The coils, as I said, I don't know how long they're going to last. I haven't run one out yet. I just got this today. So I'll let you know about that when I find out how long they last. But I also haven't tried rebuilding one of these yet. I don't know how hard it is to get off that top cap. But it looks like it's just pressed in there. So more than likely it'll be not too bad. But you can kind of see, I'll try and show you here what's inside of there, which is a coil, some cotton, filling that space up. Pretty straightforward stuff. So I think both brands have really nailed it. I'm enjoying it. I definitely like the juice capacity on this. Being able to hold that much juice in something that's really going to consume a lot of liquid. Thanks for watching. Come get one.